Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing? Let's just, okay, I can see my meter's going cool, so that's good. I'm actually coming through. Let's start the music. Wait, where's my headphones? The headphones. Is there anything going? No, there we go. It's not working. Okay, well, I'm trying to figure that out. Let's just say hello to everybody. Oh, there we go. Kerry. Oh, God, this is loud on my side. Hang on. Right, let's see. Kerry, Corn, Yolandi, Zanka. Hello, hello, hello. Thanks for joining. And Misanthropic Lethargy 666. Hello, how are you? Cool. Let's see. I've just got to catch up with the chat now. It's just everybody. Oh, Corn just got done eating some Chinese for Yostra to give her praises. Oh, cool. Right. And Nia, hello Nia. I haven't seen you in a long time. Hope you're well. I'm well. I'm good, thanks. Okay, caught up. Following my headphones doing some weird shit today. Okay, how's everybody been? How was your week? What you all busy with? What you doing? All that stuff. I don't think I told you last week I started a new book. This one. Hold on. Well, one of the 4 books that I read at one time. Folk Witchcraft, Roger J. Horn. Gonna review this. Where are we now? April. So end of May. It's actually a really quick book. I mean, this is like probably a 3-4 hour book. But large text, not very big pages. I mean, you can see it's like really simple, straightforward. Like 3 hour read this is. But it's Roger J. Horn. I like Roger J. Horn. I think he's brilliant. And there's all these. You get all these like. I'm going to give you the review now. You get all these little pictures, hand-drawn pictures, which are really cool, like folklore type pictures. Yes, they're cool. Yeah. All right. Corn just got back from my peyote ceremony. I'm glad I can eat some food again. Nice. Hope it was a good ceremony. Nia, I kind of drifted away from everything spiritual, including my lovely online communities like yours, because I've been starting over my spiritual practice from scratch. Nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. And I think this is the good thing about, well, it should be the good thing about our respective communities, is that somebody who's on the path needs to just go off and be by themselves for a while, and just to try and figure shit out half the time. And then when they're ready to come back, they come back and they get welcomed with open arms. It's not like, oh, you've been away, you didn't love us, we don't want you back anymore. That's ridiculous. I think in these communities, we kind of understand that, you go through a process, and at some point you have to, well, you go through training or development or something like that, and at some point you have to process all of that, and sometimes you need to go off and be by yourself. It's a very important part of the learning process itself. So glad you did that. It's valuable. You said it's lovely to see you again. Hope you've been well. I have. Thank you. I've been busy actually. Just been swamped again. Jandy, I want to go price Esau Oakman's books. I want to start reading some of them. Sounds like it's going to be interesting. Well, let's have a look, shall we? See what we can find. Magnum Opus. I haven't seen you in a long time either. Everybody's coming back today. What's the difference? If it's the same Magnum Opus that I knew. What's the difference between invocation and summoning a deity? Um, the definition of this tends to differ between people. Um, especially if we start talking about invocation versus evocation versus conjuration and all of this stuff. And I was actually looking at the etymology of them the other day, and there's actually not a lot of difference between any of this stuff, really. Let's actually look at that. I'll have a look at these open just now. Because this gets really interesting. Because usually, I mean, the standard type of or way people actually view this is that between invocation and evocation, anyway, is that evocation is bringing the energy into your space or into an object. Invocation is into yourself. But people differ in those interpretations. To evoke something is to bring it out, whereas to invoke is to kind of call it in, type of thing. And calling it in doesn't necessarily mean into your body, like possession. Let's just have a look. Let's do invoke. And summoning is just calling. Quite often a lot of people don't like using the term summoning, right, evoke, because it gives that idea of you are commanding. You are summoning something to you. You are telling it to come to you, which we don't like doing, obviously. And this is why it's the same as conjure. I'll look at conjure just now because that's very similar to that idea of summoning. You kind of like conjure actually has etymology which ties back to oaths and bonds. And to conjure something is almost disrespectful in a way that it's kind of like the spirit is oathed to come to you when you call it, and that's kind of like that forcing aspect again. Let me just okay. So invoke is from the 15th century. Invoke, implore, call upon, to call. So it's really about calling and voice. We've got you've got in, and then you've got vocare, which is to call, which is related to vox, which is the genitive vocis. I think it's vocis or vocis, which is voice. So it's about calling. It's about using your voice to call, whereas evoke, to call or summon forth or out. 1620s from French evoquer. Maybe Zanka can help with that pronunciation. Or directly with Latin evocare, call out, rouse, summon. So this is more of a calling out. It's like it's exciting. It's inciting something, like making the energy start to vibrate, type of thing. So yeah, I mean, this gets really interesting, and how different people actually view these different words. Let's actually do what did I say? Conjure. Sorry, I'll get to everybody just now. I find these words fascinating. Conjure is late 13th century. Command on oath. There you go. Summoned by a sacred name, invoked by incantation or magic. So this is where things get a bit more. People don't like you using the word conjure because it gives that impression of you are calling a spirit which has made a promise to come to you. You're kind of forcing it. So yeah. It all depends on personal interpretation at the end of the day again. Right, I hope that does that one. Alright, let's carry on. Corn, a lot of dancing to Thunderbirds and Four Directions, and asking Santa Marte and Astaroth guidance, and got my revolution. Cool, nice. I don't know why I'm reading the chat there when I've got it open here and it's on a bigger screen. All right, let me find out where I am now. There we go. Kerry, hello Kerry. Lee, it occurred to me with an increase in fracking near Kansas, we've been seeing earthquake uptake. Another draw to Agaras for me. Yeah, it's fracking what can cause a hell of a problem if you're going underground and causing disruptions in the natural rock formations and stuff. Yolandi, what I love about our community is that we embrace everyone, especially now that the trans community is suffering terrible discrimination. I know it's all over the freaking place at the moment. I don't know if everybody's heard, it's now in the UK, they've got all these laws coming in. So it's just pathetic, really. I think we're more advanced than that these days. In fact, it's not even a case of being more advanced. I mean, trans people, bisexual, gay, all the LGBTQ, etc., people have been around for millennia. It's only the bloody patriarchy that stopped all that shit, so, yeah. Misanthropic, is it normal for spirits to communicate to you using metaphors and symbols? Absolutely, that's usually how they do it. It can be even feelings, emotions, thoughts, impressions, ideas, all that sort of thing. That's how they communicate. It's kind of a telepathic communication. It's not words or anything like that. We take all of that and we interpret it into words so that we can understand it better, because that's how we communicate. So we just do that for ourselves, really. But that's really how they communicate. And symbols, I mean, symbols is like ancient communication through ages, and the unconscious mind speaks in symbols. So, you know, yes, absolutely. I put wheels on my desk, and every time I move my keyboard around, I think it's wobbling everything. So excuse me, I'll do that. It's become a habit. Yeah, absolutely agree. Yep. Divs, hello Divs. Good evening all. Lovely to be here again. Glad to have you back. Alright, so now that we've looked at invoke, evoke, conjure, and all that etymology, let's have a look at Esau Oatman's books. He's got that one on Kickstarter. The runes. Let's see. What's on Northern Black? Right, anybody who's new here, by the way, it's the Covenstead. You can chat about whatever you want to chat about. Just ask your questions, leave a comment, make a statement, whatever it may be. Just, you know, be respectful. Don't prod, anything like that. We are all adults here, so we're a community, so, you know, gotta respect everybody. Alright, so he's got the Nordic tattoo out, and the Viking art tome. PDF bundle, god masks, and all these patterns, tattoo patterns. Handbook for Creative Survival, the notebook. Yeah, they're going for like £20 for an ebook, £35. Well, that one's £28 for an ebook. £35 for a paperback by the looks of it. Yeah, around about that price. 20, 35 pounds. There's some older ones by the looks of it, £15. I've got quite a few. Runes, sigils, and bind runes book. Interesting. Right. Oh, got one last new place now. I'm a little confused. In Vedic astrology and numerology, Mercury is associated with color green and number 5, but in magic, Mercury is associated with number 8 and orange color. Or two completely different systems that came out of two different parts of the world, really. I mean, you can look at in reference to the color green itself and the planets. It's the color of Venus in Western magic. But it's also associated with money. And Venus is associated with the metal copper, which becomes green. Copper, I believe, is also associated with money. So, is it the same? Yes, no, it's all wibbly wobbly. But it really is two different systems that came up with two different things. And Vedic astrology, and I'm not an astrologer. But Vedic astrology and I'm going to say Hellenistic astrology, to the best of my knowledge, very different approaches in the systems themselves. So very, very different. So that's probably why you're going to get a difference between them. Yeah, I met some other witches locally lately, and we're slowly building a witch community. Excellent, which I love. Up until now, there was only one other witch I knew personally nearby. It's so lovely to meet more. That's fantastic. Build a coven. Start growing a coven. A lot of my online communities are just still felt a bit lonely in my practice offline. Yeah, I know what you mean. I tend to be online a lot. I mean, I've got a couple of people here that I connect with once a month. Kind of been trying to build a coven for the past 4 years or something. It's had its ups and downs, its stops and starts, and major changes. But we're still trying to get there now. So it's a process. It's not an easy thing to do, but if you can get a small, and I mean small, I'm talking like 4 or 5 people max. I mean, if you want to start going into rituals and stuff, no more than 13. Because then it just becomes unmanageable. But a small group of people who you can get together with every now and again, and just connect, talk about witchcraft and magic and everything else, and that's a coven. Learn from each other, experience, find out what everybody's doing, and maybe do some group work or something like that. It's where you want to take it. Just let the group kind of flow and decide by itself. Misanthropic. Oh, Kenneth here. Hello, Kenneth. Yes, you caught a live episode. Misanthropic immediately got the metaphor cold anvil when I started working with AIM for creative inspiration on Friday, and interesting because an anvil is a symbol of endurance and creating under pressure. Yeah, I like that, the symbolism there. That's exactly how they communicate, things like that. It's slightly different for everybody. I don't get that kind of imagery. I get it's like an idea that comes to me. And I know it's taken a long time to figure it out. It really has. It's taken years. But I now know, when it's an idea from me or an idea from someone else. And sometimes I'll get told who's giving me that idea, and sometimes I don't. And it doesn't really matter, because it's not about the individual entity that comes through, it's about the message itself. So yeah, but that's exactly how they communicate. Elandia, the runes and sigils one is what I'm especially interested in. Oh, I've got it. I stopped right on that. Is that the runes, sigils, and bind runes ebook? That's the $28 or £28. Sorry. Let's have a look what's in it. Yeah, I'm not going to read all of that. Dive into the world of runes with Northern Black's runes, sigils, and bind runes, expertly crafted by Peter Esar Oakmond. Specialized guidebook explores the Elder Futark as powerful symbols, delves into Icelandic esoteric sigils, and simplifies the concept of bind runes. There's actually another guy who I follow on, oh, it was on Instagram. I don't really use that much anymore. He was really good. Icelandic. Oh, thanks for becoming a supporter. He does a lot of Icelandic runes, just completely focused on runes and rune magic and bind runes and things like that. Very interesting stuff. Can't remember his name though. I'm just going to copy the link to Northern Black in case anybody else wants to go support them, because he is great, he's brilliant. Should actually go check him out on TikTok. I think it's that, yeah, should be that. Yeah. Where were we? Oh, Corn, can you tell me anything about Life Path 7? What I was told I'm from my birthday and time of birth. I'm not really sure. Is that an association with numerology? Because I'm not into numerology at all. So I can't really tell you much about that. Sorry about that. Landy is again busy with crowdfunding for a new book he was busy writing. Is that the... I did see it just now, the Kickstarter on the runes. I think he's gone way over the expected amount. Let's just check. Cool, bloody hell. This guy's very popular. So the book The Runes by Isar Oakland, I'm going to put the link in the chat. My God, he's done well. It's 5 days to go, and he needed it's on Kickstarter to produce this book. He needed $17,244, and currently is at $79,158. Well, bloody hell, did really well. If anybody's interested and wants to grab one of those, it's just see what you get as a supporter. That's for $75, $50, $60, $350, $450. Okay, so the lowest pledges are $50. You get a perfect set for beginners, a set of rune cards, along with the beautiful hardbound rune book. There you go. Oh yeah, this is the rune cards one. Cool. Alright, yeah, sorry. Let me just come back to the chat now, which I'm supposed to be doing. Yeah, where was I? Bind runes scare me, messing with the web of weird. Oh yes, no. If you don't understand how to put runes together properly, don't do it. It's like... Wait, I've missed some. Oh, that was Kerry. I thought it was Yolandi. Sorry, here's Yolandi. He is part of our community. He follows the Viking path. Corn, yes, Mr. Lee. Is it? It's okay. Is that's in reference to path number 7, life path number 7? I don't know what that means, to be honest. As I said, not a numerologist, never been interested in numerology, so I can't really tell you. Varnavas, hello Varnavas, I'll get to your question just now. Let's see, Nia, by the way, which is best to support your channel and what you do, YouTube, membership or Patreon? I prefer Patreon. YouTube did a weird thing, they asked for all my tax details again. I've already put them in. I suppose they do it every now and again, and I put them all in again and they won't accept them for some reason. So now they're holding back 30%. So, you know, YouTube membership, I get the money, but you know, I prefer Patreon. You get more on Patreon anyway, to be honest with you. So there's a few, if you join the journal, which is $5, I do a vlog every week where I just talk about what I'm doing, and quite a bit. I actually kind of give everybody quite a bit there. But yeah, if you want training, That's the $15 tier that yeah, just kind of have a look at the and he gets $1. Yeah, basically, yeah. But just gonna have a look at the different tiers. There's various different things. I've got the Egregore project over there. I've got the Temple of the Horn Serpent stuff. There's 3 tiers there, depending on what you can afford and what you want. Whether you want one-on-one training or not, or just go through material yourself and just ask questions. But go and have a look on Patreon, definitely Patreon. But do I need to? Shall I put my link, Patreon link here? What's going on here? Just in case anybody else is interested. I'm terrible at advertising, so I need to do this more often. I've lost it. There we go. Lost my mind. Okay, let me actually pin that to the top, because, you know, that's what I should be doing as a... I'm trying to advertise myself. Okay, Kenneth, Leah's streaming setup is pro level, loving it. Glad you like it. Yeah, was having some problems with OBS. It kept cutting me out and stuff. This one is better, not brilliant, but yeah, I need a much bigger, faster laptop, but we manage. Let's put it that way. Okay, Varnavas, can I win the lottery with these energy rituals? You could, but very unlikely. I was actually explaining this a few weeks back. Gordon White actually has a... if you go to his blog, I think it should still be active. It's called Rune Soup. Some excellent articles on there, but he actually spoke about this in one of his articles several years back. When you do magic, you improve your chances. Okay, now you have to, something like the lottery. If you are considering that, let's just for argument's sake say that there are 2 million people who are all vying for the lottery at the same time, and therefore they are putting all of their wishes, their thoughts, their energy and everything into winning the lottery, because that's what each person wants. When you do magic, you are doing the same thing, but because you know particular skills which are beyond just thinking about it, you are adding to that energy itself. So you are improving your chances. It doesn't mean excuse me, it doesn't mean that you are going to all of a sudden become, you know, be above everybody else who is just thinking about just putting energy into it. All you're doing is improving your chances. So if there were 2 million people who all put in the lottery at the same time, and let's for argument's sake say that your chances were 1.5 million to 1 that you would win. When you do magic, you're improving your chances, so that may become 500,000 to 1. Okay, but that's still 500,000 to 1 chance. That's a huge chance or possibility that you won't win it. However, people do find that when they do lottery magic, if they get it right, there's a lot of people who don't get it right, but there's some people I know have gotten it right. And other games of chances, not just lottery, but they have found that they may not win it, but they do win something, which they may not have otherwise won. So it's kind of a yes and no thing, really. But that's the basic idea behind that whole thing. Misanthropic, do you know what offerings AIM prefers? I did sandalwood and actually my own blood on a sigil last Friday, but I don't think I want to do that every time. I want to do a weekly offering. Yeah, blood I usually just wait until I know I'm working with the spirit and I'm building a relationship, then I'll start giving blood, unless it's a specific ritual outline that I'm following. But sandalwood's always good. Let me just check what I actually put in my Liber Daimon things. Let's see. Yeah, sandalwood is good incense. There's lemon, high john root, cinnamon, bay, bay leaf, basil, wormwood, and hawthorn. All good offerings. I wrote quite a lot about that. I don't know if you checked. I'm not sure if I actually sent you this link or not. That's the transcript from the video I did. Might be helpful. Yeah, thanks. Never had a Patreon account before, but been thinking about it for a while. I'll finally check it out. It's really good, I've got to say, and it's improved over the years a hell of a lot. I tried Patreon several years back, and it didn't really fit in with what I was doing. It wasn't as good as it is now. Let's put it that way. They've added so much more to it, and that's why I originally kind of moved over to Ko-fi and Buy Me a Coffee, because they weren't charging as much as Patreon, and they were actually doing better. They were doing more. They had shop and everything else, which was at the time Patreon didn't. But everybody kind of hovers around Patreon, so that's why I've moved back over there, and they've added so much more. It's improved, as I said, it's improved so much that it's really, really good now. I mean, if anybody is a creator, you don't even need a website. Just go to Patreon. You can put all your stuff on there. But yeah, no, it's great. And check out some of the other people as well. It's really good. Esoterica's on Patreon. I think it's $5 a month as well, just to support the Esoterica's channel. And because what's nice about that is what Dr. Justin Sledge does. He kind of creates these series. He did it with the wasn't Levi, Agrippa. The 3 books, or well, it wasn't really on the 3 books, but it was about Agrippa and his life and everything else. And it was like a 12-part series, like 12 hours worth of video, and he put it on YouTube for free because he was getting the support on Patreon to actually be able to do this, which is kind of like what I'd like to do as well. You know, I'd like to stop building websites at some stage, just to pay the rent and the bills and just talk to you guys all the time. But that's, yeah, it's really good. Patreon's fantastic. Love it. Lee, do you hex or curse? Yes, I do. Every good witch should know how to hex and curse, and to cure and heal. Kenneth, it's worth it if you're serious about magic. You'll program. Yeah, Kenneth is on. It's on the. You're on the $40 tier. So I can't remember now. God, I've forgotten my own bloody tiers. The Temple of the Horn Serpent, first degree stuff. Yeah. And thanks for the plug, by the way. That's I need other people to do that, because I am absolutely awful at promoting myself. I feel like an arse every time. One of us, possible buy more tickets and using this. Yeah, look, it's something you're going to have to experiment with. Can't guarantee that you're going to get a win. And there's a lot of different methods out there from a lot of different people. There's spirits you can use to, call in the winnings and all of this stuff. And it's just something you're going to have to, all these different things you're going to have to experiment with. And I just find that by the time you've gone through all of the experiments, you've spent so much on lottery tickets that you might as well have just put the money away, and you would have won like a huge amount to begin with. So maybe that's something to look at. Instead of actually buying the tickets, just put the money away, and by the time you've been through all of those various experiments, you'd have a lot of money in your pot. So, it's a possibility. Kerry, I come across an injustice or misconduct, I file formal complaints which affect people, and do not take these matters lightly. Well, you shouldn't. If it's whatever it is, if it's justified, then do it. It's I always say it's keeping the balance. If somebody's done something harmful to you, you know, you're justified in doing something back, keeping that balance. So why not? Yeah, absolutely. I've already learned so much from Lee through YouTube that progressed my magic. So I'm excited about the Patreon content. Good stuff. Yeah. Let me tell everybody about the Patreon stuff then. Here we go. Here's a personal plug. So you've got a variety of different tiers. There's the $3 tier, which is just supporter. You don't really get anything. It's just to say you like my content, and I thank everybody for that. Definitely thank everybody for that. There's the $5 tier, which is the journal. I do a vlog once a week. There's a lot of stuff that actually comes through on that. Recently, I wrote Vacatia. I forgot I can't even pronounce the name anymore. I better go find that actually. It was a conjuration, goetic conjuration that I was developing that incorporated the decans and opened the gates of the Sephira on the Tree of Life, associated with the planets and stuff. Vocatia Australis, there you go, the astral calling. Yeah, so I was developing the thing. So what I was doing was, as I was doing that, I was kind of filling everybody in. So it really is a vlog of what I'm personally doing. So there's a lot of personal stuff I do that I can't talk about, obviously. But that's what you get on the $5 tier. Then there's the $10, which is the Obsidian Veil. So you get everything with each tier. It just goes up. You get everything from the previous tiers. That's the Obsidian Veil is a cleansing and protection rite I do once a month. It's just a live ritual I do. Call on Hecate and Nagal for that. Just for everybody. I kind of got everybody on a bowl type thing. Then there's the Egregore project for $12.50, and that's old. That's what I was doing on YouTube. Still on YouTube, but I kind of moved it over to Patreon as well. That is the project where I'm creating egregores, spirits, servitors, which are used by the group, and therefore we can define them as egregores in that manner. And that's just kind of creating a new pantheon of spirits. Then there's the 3 Temple of the Horned Serpent tiers, which is foundational work, foundational practice. It takes you through an 8-month program where you learn all the foundations of how to do magic, actually working with the energy body and developing your energy body and improving psychism and all of this stuff. Taking you through various different spell working methods, how to build a compass, your own personal worldview compass, and all this stuff, working with the circle, the elemental kings, all of this stuff is in there. There's 3 tiers for that $15, which is just get the text. If you want to ask questions, you can. I'll do a video to answer all the questions. And then there's the $40 tier where you get a one-on-one with me once a month, and then the $100 tier where you get one-on-one with me once a week. So yeah, that's what's happening there at the moment. Okay, so let's get back to the chat over here. Thank you. It's a pleasure. Kenneth, Damien Eccles, S. Connolly, lots of people on Patreon. Yeah, I think everybody's on Patreon actually. So even though Buy Me a Coffee and Ko-fi they're brilliant platforms, they really are. I don't think Patreon just got the name. I think they started the whole thing to begin with, so yeah, they're going to carry on with it. Yolandi, I'm not going down that hex and curse road tonight. Okay, alright. Kenneth, 14 people watching. Hit that like button to help me out. Yeah, give me a like. There we go. Matt, hello Matt. While working with and conjuring demons during ritual, are triangles only used for evocation, or can you use it for invocation and they manifest within the triangle? Okay, this is going to depend on how you are interpreting the words evocation and invocation. And the triangle itself is really just used for focusing the energy itself. In the old grimoires, and in the old grimoires, well, specifically like the Ars Goetia or Goetia, where you've got the triangle of art, it's used to. I think I've actually got a feeling it's a modern interpretation that it's used to trap and bind the spirit. Although then, the grimoires themselves do go on to then threaten the spirit if they do not comply and all of this stuff. But I've actually got a feeling it really is very much a modern interpretation. The triangle is to focus the energy, and the argument I have is, if the triangle is to trap and bind, so the spirit is trapped in that triangle and cannot get out of it, why do you have a circle which the triangle is outside of? The circle is the protective aspect in this particular solomonic format. So why have you got a triangle which is trapping the spirit in it? Because if the spirit's trapped, it can't get out of the triangle, but obviously it can, because otherwise you wouldn't have a circle. So that's my argument. So I really think it's some kind of modern misinterpretation. Maybe it's mistranslations, I don't know. But coming back to the triangle, it actually is it's a concentration of the energy, and it's the acute angles of the equilateral triangle that force the energy into the center. So as you are pulling, if you don't have the triangle, you're just letting the energy swirl around, it just moves around, it flows. If it's in a circle, it flows, it moves. But as soon as you add an angle, it stops and it gets concentrated. It may continue down to the next angle where it gets kind of gathers, continues to the next angle where it gathers again, and it keeps going and gathering and gathering and gathering and gathering, and eventually what happens is it builds up this pressure and tension, and that pushes it into the center of this triangle, which concentrates the energy. And that's what the triangle of art, or triangle of manifestation, is actually for. And it don't just use it for spirits. I use it for scrying. I use it for actual spell work. When I want to manifest something, an idea or something, I will put the idea or whatever it is into a triangle, creating servitor, put it into a triangle, focus that energy, really concentrate the energy, and then launch it, so let it, send it off. But sorry, let me get back to your question just in case I missed something. While working with and conjuring demons during ritual, are triangles only used for evocation, or can you use it for... Okay, so evocation, invocation, we actually discussed this right at the beginning of the show. Go and have a look at the etymology of the words, because it's quite interesting. But they're not actually... The meaning of the words aren't actually that different. Sorry, it's gone very quiet in the chat. I'm just wondering if I'm still actually broadcasting. Look like it. Just let me know if I'm here or not. If I'm here, I know somebody will respond, but if I'm not, I'm just talking to myself. Okay, well, somebody's in the chat. There we go. So evocation and invocation usually are considered to be like, evocation is to bring the energy into the space or evoke it into something. Invocation is to bring it into the body. But that's not my interpretation. And if you go into modern demonology, it's quite often said that the word evocation is not used because it's considered to be disrespectful. The same as conjuring or summoning or something like that, which is kind of a forceful type of calling forth. So they tend to often only use the word invoke, and that is referred to not just invocation into the self, but invocation into the space you are inhabiting, invocation into something, into an object, talisman, an amulet, pulling that energy and putting it into it. So again, it comes back to how you're interpreting those words. So I don't know if that answers your question. If it doesn't, just let me know your interpretations and we can take it from there and discuss it a bit more. misanthropic. I think that Lilith connected me through a dream state a few times. One dream was about breaking free from a jail, and another was metaphorical for a relationship that was actually a trauma bond and the illusion of real love. Yeah, you see, those types of things you're going to have to interpret by yourself, because dream interpretation does become very personal and very cultural. You know, how you interpret breaking free from a jail may be very different to what how somebody else interprets it. But yeah, dreams, messages through dreams. Again, you know, this is really one of the ways the spirits, the deities, do communicate. Are witches wordsmiths? Yes, I'd say quite often. I don't think all of them are. I mean, not everybody enjoys words, but I do find a lot of witches, because of it's the study aspect and the history. I mean, there's a lot of history that goes along with you know, um, discovering and learning about witchcraft. And because of the history, we have various words that have progressed through the years and or the centuries. And words tend to morph and develop and change and everything else. So finding out what they originally meant, like, I mean, demon. It's the one that comes up most on this channel, I think. You know, where does it come from? It's definitely not. It has become this word which is westernized and Christianized, which means an evil thing, because they've just lumped everything into this one word. But it, you know, it was originally it came from the Latin, which also came from the Greek. The Greek is probably the oldest form of that word. I mean, you're going back to the first written mention of the word daimon was 3000 BC. Yeah, I think it was 3000 BC. So that was the first written use of the word. But it probably goes way past that or beyond that. But I think it's important, because we use the words grimoire, we use the word spell work, and really what we're doing is we are spelling. When we are doing a spell, we are spelling. We are bringing something into existence through the word, through the logos, we can speak things into existence. Speech has vibration. Vibration alters things, changes things. So, you know, speech and word itself is very, very important in magic and witchcraft. And, you know, we have grimoire, which originally comes from, or has its rooting in grammaire, which is about grammar, which I actually read. Oh, I read the etymology of it in that folk witchcraft book. Had a particular meaning which I didn't know about. Let's see if we can find that one. I love looking up words. Let's see. Let's start with grimoire. While we're doing that, I'll just carry on with everything else. We'll come back to the grimoire. Corn, you are. I'm listening. Okay, cool. All right, yeah. Oh, I'm glad I'm going through. Otherwise, as I said, I'm just talking to myself. You are talking to yourself. We are not here. Okay. All right. As long as I see people moving, it doesn't matter if you're here or not. I'll just carry on. Yeah, I'd say yes, they are, especially if you write your own spells. Yep, there you go. Spells, spelling, you are spelling. Why did it do that? Thank you, Kerry. Abracadabra. Yep, there's that one, abracadabra. An old word. Corn, I know, getting the horse and monkey together, meaning get the mind and heart together, intent, making your magic more powerful. I know the Taoist magic is wonderful. I haven't heard getting the horse and monkey together. It's actually interesting. Yeah, I'm assuming the monkey is in reference to the mind and how horse is in reference to the heart. I haven't heard that phrase before. That's quite cool. Alright, grimoire. Magician's Manual for Invoking Demons, 1849, from French grimoire, altered from grammaire, which means incantation or grammar. Let's try grammary. Grammary. Also compare. Oh wait, that's. Oh, I should have gone to grammar. It's still here. There we go. Let's try that. Grammar. Specific word. This is interesting. The word grammar. Late 14th century Latin grammar, rules of Latin, from the Old French grammaire, grammar, learning, especially Latin and philology, also magic, incantation, spells, mumbo jumbo. An irregular, semi-popular adoption. Art of letters. That's not coming up with a specific interpretation that I was reading earlier. Okay, can't find that. Anyway, yeah, so we have grammar, which comes, or grimoire, which comes from grammar, and we have spell work. When we doing that, we are spelling. It's all about words, so kind of goes that way. Magnus, or Magnum Opus. Can you talk about herb magic and best book? I'm not really a herb magic person myself. I have been. I've used it in the past and everything else. There are several good books though. I know I wrote them down somewhere. I'm just trying to remember where. How did I write them? Oh, I think I know where. I will pull them up and send them in the chat. Give me a moment. Is the head riding edge witchcraft? There we go. I'm just going to carry on while I'm trying to find that as well. Coordinates, the body and mind. Yes. Oh, okay. Body. Yes. Not the heart. Body. Okay. Yeah. Monkey is always in reference to the mind, the monkey mind, the chatter. Nia, Kerry, now I've got the Lady Gaga song. YouTube is censoring me again. Do you want to send it in our other chat? Yeah, just send it in the chat if you want me to talk about it. Just tell me when you sent it though, because otherwise I'm gonna miss it. Oh, there we go. YouTube is censoring me. I said the Christians love using demon, Satan, and legend. Oh yeah, I'm assuming that's Legion. Yeah, they do. I mean, they created Satan as an individual entity, so yeah, that's their creation. Well, their creation, which the Satanists continued with. Well, grammar ties in grimoire. Yes, it does. Yep. Oh, Mastering Herbalism is really good by Paul Hewson, not Hudson. Hewson. He also wrote Mastering Witchcraft, which is brilliant. They're both brilliant. Okay, let me find where the bloody hell I put these books. Okay, now I don't even think I put them here. Oh wait, it's probably at the end of this thing. Suggested reading. There we go. Alright, so there is 3 books by Dale Pendle, which are said to be brilliant. I've still got to read them myself. If you want to read about Poison Path, there's also Kobe Michael. He's brought out the Poison Path Herbal and the Poison Path Grimoire. I'm going to put the names of the Dale Pendle books in the chat because they're a bit difficult to pronounce. Let me just take these little bits away. Go. There we go. But there's 3 books, and they're brilliant. There's also, oh, hold on. Oh, I can't do an entry, so I'm going to do a pipe. And they're all by Dale Pendle. It won't let me do that amount of text. Oh, there we go. Okay, there's the 3 books. There's also by Daniel Schulk, who is now the leader of, or the Magister of Cultus Sabbati, which was started by Andrew Chumbley. He's done some fantastic books on herbalism, herb magic. Yeah, the ones I can think of at the moment, anyway. Hope that helps. Where am I? Magnum. Oh, it's a pleasure. Blum, blum, blum. Kenneth, doesn't the Clipoth use Satan as a force? I know Satan was a title. Don't know, because I don't follow the whole Clipothic idea. I'm still going through my year's worth of reading and getting to the bottom and the origins of this whole modern Clipothic thing, and so far it's just a bunch of rubbish. To be totally honest with you, I'm still trying to find some substance in Kenneth Grant's books, and it's just, yeah. I actually originally said that Kenneth Grant is the one who came up with the whole Universe B thing, and the Tunnels of Set, which is kind of like where this whole idea of the Clipothic, the Tree of Death, and all that stuff came out of. It wasn't. It was Michael Bertieu, who started talking about Universe B. So I'm going through the Grant books. I'm going to read through all 9 of them. Then I'm going to go through all the Michael Bertieu stuff. But yeah, so far it's just an absolute load of rubbish. And the amount of mistakes and blatant, stupid mistakes that keep finding in Grant's books. It's got to do with gematria of particular words that somebody like that should know better, and it just doesn't make any sense to me. I actually read a review of Grant's his trilogy, and all 9 books really, because there's 9 books in the trilogy. And the person who was writing the review, actually suggested or had the idea that Grant actually wrote all these books as a joke, just to basically just put all this rubbish out there and just laugh at people. I don't know if that's true. It's a hell of a lot of work to do if they're going to do that, but hell, I don't know. Anyway. Yeah, but as a title and as an entity, it's personal worldview again. For me, Satan is a title, Satan, and I think each person who is doing magic to change their circumstances, to go against the grain of society and make their life the way they want to make it, they are being the adversary to everybody else who's telling you what you should be doing. And therefore I believe that the magician is the Satan. And there is no... I have interacted with an entity, with a being, which I can only really refer to as an egregore, whose name was Satan. But as an individual and an entity, it was created by the Christians. That's where that whole thing came out of, and then got taken on by the Satanists as their all-father, their god. And yeah, so I don't know. It's a personal thing. It really boils down to that. Yelani, I'm starting to feel like YouTube has something against me. I'm the only one complaining about it. Yeah, if anybody else, as I said before, if anybody else has written a comment and I'm not like answering it, or you don't see it come up. I don't know if it's actually, if Yolandi can actually see it. Just let me know if you can actually see your own comment come up and nobody else can. Just let me know, because it's a bit weird actually. Kenneth, I don't follow either. No, yeah, yeah, no. It's as I said, it's all boils down to personal worldview and interpretation. And yeah, always appreciate new book recommendations. Not that I have enough space to buy even more books, but you know, can never have too many, and to be read pile can never be massive enough. Oh, my just keeps getting added to. That's why I love Everand so much, to be honest with you. I do like buying paperback books. I like having them to read and hold and everything else. But if I had to buy all the books that I mean, I honestly, I read 4 books a time. Probably takes me a month, so I should probably just read 1 book and it'll take me a week, you know. But I've just got so many things I want to learn at the same time, and it's like, oh, I can't do all of it. But that's why I like Everand though, is because you pay a subscription fee and you can read as much as you want. There's no limit. And you can put as many as you want in your library. It's like, not like with, I joined Kindle Unlimited at one stage. It was the same price as Everand. And I was like reading, got books, and then I had 10 in my library, and then I got this message the next one, and said you have to get rid of something in your library in order to get this new book. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm paying a subscription, and it was like it's like taking books from a library, really, like a library. You only allowed X amount of books, and then you have to start sending them back, so you're not allowed to keep them. Ridiculous. So yeah, Everand all the way. Oh, you also said rage bait witchcraft books, April Fool's joke witchcraft books. Are you asking me? I'm not sure what that's referring to actually. What's rage bait witchcraft? Corn, I know Clipoth and Tree of Life is part of Alexander Wiccan. Really? It's about inner work and shadow side of yourself and achieving balance by travelling both trees. Did not know Clipoth was part of Alexandrian Wicca. I mean, yeah, I can understand why shadow work would be. But, yeah. I mean, the way Grant describes the tunnels of Set, the universe be the other side of the tree through the abyss, is really kind of like if you imagine being in a city and there's a sewer system below you, and you take one of the manhole covers off in the road and you go into the sewer system, and you go around the sewers in your hands and knees and things like that. That's kind of what he describes as being this other side, the dark side, the night side. And it's all full of the ghouls and parasites are the words used. Or larvae, sorry, not larvae, not parasites, larvae. So astral larvae, which are the astral parasites. Why would anyone, we're trying to cleanse ourselves, get rid of the astral parasites. Why would anybody immerse themselves in the parasites? Makes no bloody sense. But anyway, my little personal rant. But yeah, as far as I can tell, the modern interpretation of the whole Clipoth thing is the shadow work. But at the same time, the way a lot of people seem to be going about it is kind of like, throw yourself in right at the beginning, and you give yourself like a few months to kind of completely and utterly work through your shadow self. Do all your shadow work in a few months, and then you're clean, and then you don't have to do it again in your life. That is rubbish. Shadow work is something you do your entire life. You never stop doing it. But anyway, I just have rants. I'm going on rants now. I'm going to carry on. Alright, match. Evocation meaning control and binding. Invocation, the opposite, and showing respect. Oh, okay, that's an interesting interpretation actually. I want to show nothing but respect to them. I ordered a triangle in hopes of getting more manifestation. Yeah, I mean, the triangle. I don't think the triangle has anything personally. Personally, I mean, I don't use the Solomonic methods myself, but personally, I don't think the triangle has anything to do with the controlling and binding. It's to focus and concentrate the energies, and it's not just used in grimoire magic. It's used in witchcraft. And you don't even need to order a triangle. You don't need this triangle with Michael and all this stuff written on it. Get 3 twigs and create a triangle. If you go through Mastering Witchcraft, Paul Hewson that we were just talking about, he talks about the triangle in there, and it really is just a triangle. It's nothing else. It's just a white triangle on a black background. So, it doesn't need to be all this fancy grimoire Solomonic stuff. It's a triangle. It's the angles of the triangle which are the main focus. Elandi, I see my comment and no one else can. Oh, okay. That's weird. Because I know this has happened before and I've gone back to go see and it's just not there. Oh, wait. I did forget to switch it on to live chat. But even then, your comments should be coming up. Corn, I saw your one you sent about YouTube targeting you. Oh, yeah. Comment. Alright. I think your pick, Lee. It was Christian comment. Okay, I'm not sure if we're getting things mixed up here. Let me a pick. Okay. Alright, I can see where it is. I'll go back afterwards and just check, because it doesn't make any sense to me. Where am I? Okay. Nia, no, the Rage Bait Witchcraft Books comment was referring to you telling us that you heard Grant's books might be a joke, just to put out misinformation. Okay, alright. Yeah, no, that's I don't know. It's just very, very fucking weird. It really is. Everything. I mean, everything that's Grant comes up with, and as I say, it wasn't Grant. It was Michael Bachu, and Grant's really just taken all the concepts and running with them. There's this ancient secret society that originated in the middle of Africa that predates Hinduism. It's all voodoo. Where they get this stuff from? Really, it's just fantasy. And the problem is that most of the stuff I'm finding in Grant's books are concepts that the Left-Hand Path community kind of ran with. But the whole thing is just based on complete and utter misinformation. The entire system, the Typhonian system itself, is based on Set, the Egyptian god Set. And I mean, there's not just like misinformation about Set being Satan and who was worshipped by the Yazidis and all of this stuff, but he takes the gematria, the numbering of the word Set. No, sorry, it was Satan. And says that it's 359. But the problem is, he's gotten the Hebrew spelling wrong. The nun, letter nun at the end of the word Satan is it's nun final, which that alone is 1,000 equates to 1,000. So it should be, what was it? 1,309, I think it was. I can't remember now myself. But it was a lot different to 359. And then later, in one of his later books, I think it was the 4th book, he's talking about 364, and he's bringing in all these associations with 364 and 364 days, and then one day at the end, which was the day. I don't know. He's carrying on about the Jewish people saying that that's the day of Satan. That's when Satan runs wild because it's the only day of the 365 days of the year that he's allowed to, because all of this other stuff equates to 364. And then he takes the word Satan again and all of a sudden makes it 364. And in the footnote, he's spelt it out not as Shin Tet Nun, which are the three letters of Satan in Hebrew, but he's added a fourth letter into it, just abstractly, just out of the blue. So now it's all of a sudden it's set hair, it's Shin Hair Tet Nun. So he just added this random letter into a word, and which has no place in it to begin with, just to make it 364. But his 359 is already wrong. So the entire thing is just based on misinformation, and it just boggles my mind. Anyway, I'm going to get off this topic because I'm going to rant and rave. Corn, it's helped me a lot, both sides of the tree. I'm enjoying the journey. I'm sorry, Yolandi, for your problems with YouTube. I can't see them. Okay. Yeah, no, I've got to say, I mean, a lot of people take this clipothic thing and they use it as shadow work, and it does help them. Depends on the approach. That one dude on YouTube and on Patreon who kind of initiates people into the Universe B stuff, and they just no, he's he's basically throwing people in the middle of the sea and telling them to swim back to the shore with no help. It's just crazy shit. Anyway, Elandia will just blame me. Okay, yes, you can blame me, that's fine. Yeah, your shadow work has become such a trend. Self-help shadow journals in every bookstore without warning people about what this actually means and what can happen if you do it completely alone. Yeah, when you can do it alone, but I would always recommend therapy along. Oh yes, absolutely. The problem with shadow work is that it brings up it brings up trauma. I kind of like to use the Toltec idea of recapitulation for shadow work, and that kind of is kind of like peeling back layers, and with each layer that you peel back, new memories that you've completely forgotten about, they start to surface, and that can bring up traumas and pain and things that you need therapy for. So yeah, no, shadow work is quite a severe thing, and this is the problem. This dude that I was talking about, I don't want to name names. He's kind of just doing these initiations into the Universe B clipothic G of Death stuff, all very edgy, and people are getting thrown into the deep end, and then when they go to him and say, "I'm really battling, I don't know what to do, help me, help me, help me," he goes, "Oh, it's okay, don't worry, that's the process, just carry on." There's no help, because he probably doesn't even know how to help people. He just, getting the money. He's being paid like almost $7,000 a month for all this stuff. That's fucking ridiculous, it really is. Anyway, I'm going to stop. I am going to stop complaining. I think we need to stop talking about the cloth. I'm just going to carry on frigging complaining. Misanthropic said, "I find the clip-off very interesting." Okay, that's cool. I'm still trying to get to the parts where I actually find some value in it. So, apart from just the simple shadow work side, as I said, it depends what approach the person's taking. Matike, thank you. Still learning all this stuff. Just trying to jump head first in. No problem. Absolutely no problem. The EXO, sorry. I've lost you there. I missed something. Did I miss something? I probably did. Alright, anyway. Corn. I know Lee, the Tao Te Ching speaks a lot about magic. Chapter 1 tells us. I read that so long ago, I can't even remember what's in that anymore. But yeah, hang on a sec. Isn't that one of Crowley's? Or am I mixing stuff up here? Oh no, that's the wrong one. I'll go over here. The Tao Te Ching. Oh, no. I'm thinking of something else that Crowley wrote. Chinese classic text and foundational work of Taoism, traditionally credited to the sage Lao Tzu. Yeah. I was thinking that was what's the other thing? I'm forgetting words. Down there, I can't see it now. The divination system. What's the Chinese divination system? I can't remember. Anyway, gonna carry on now. Misanthropic, the complete book of demonology was a great read. It is. I love that book. It really is. Probably, in terms of modern demonology, it's probably the only book you actually need to read, and then you just go from there and just, take your practice and develop it further and further and further. Kenneth, the Temple of Set, wasn't that Zena LeVay? Breakoff Cult, Anton has some ideas, but that family fell off the cliff. Let me just check. I know what you're talking about. And it was Michael Aquinas who started the Temple of Set. But that was largely based on Grant's and, going back further, Michael Bachu's tunnels of Set and the Universe B stuff. That's a lot of it's incorporated into that, as far as I know, anyway. Yes, Temple of Set. Michael Angelo Aquino, love the eyebrows; they're fantastic. He founder and high priest of the Temple of Set. But I think Xena actually started that. What did Xena do? Xena LeVay. Let's see if we can find out what Xena Shrek. In 1990, severed ties with her father and renounced LeVayan Satanism. Her religious path eventually led to teaching Tibetan Tantric Buddhism. So yeah, I doubt she would have had anything to do with temples of Set and all that. It's kind of interesting because she and her husband Nicholas Schreck actually wrote that book on sex magic, The Left-Hand Path. Although that was very much focused, around the Vama Marga, the actual Hindu left-hand path, not so much the westernized idea of it. So, yeah, very interesting people. Let me do that because that was bright. Yunandi, he heard it from his sister's boyfriend's best friend's girlfriend, who knows this guy who works in a bookstore in the mall, so it must be true. Absolutely. Yes. Kenneth at 31 flavors, right? Must be serious. Eaching, that's it. What was the 31 flavors? You're going to have to tell me about that one now. Misanthropic, I wouldn't pay 7,000. Oh no, it's not. The initiation isn't $7,000, but I think it's $50. But he's earning $7,000 from all the people on his Patreon. I'm still stuck at $450. I'm still gonna get to the 7,000 mark. My God, I'd love to do that. Corn, I've been incorporating the 42 Assessor of the Book of the Dead into my magic. It's interesting because of what it asked of you. Now, you go in directions that I have not even bothered touching. I must be honest. So I don't know. Oh, Yolandi, 31 flavors is ice cream shop or brand. Oh, okay. What was that in reference to? I'm just losing the plot again today. Oh, goodness me. There was just a funny quote from Ferris Bueller. Oh, okay, alright. Right. Wasn't I looking for something earlier? No, I think I found everything. I was going to look for something now. I can't remember what it was. Let me go through all the comments again. Maybe I can find out. Remember what it was. I don't know. You were looking for herb stuff. You gave the links. Yeah, no, I gave some book recommendations for the herbs. I don't know. I'll remember it when the show finishes. Oh, right, let's see, now that we've got a quiet moment. I always kind of wonder what I should do at these quiet moments. It's actually, oh, it's Easter weekend, that's probably why. I'm going to say we usually get about 22 to 24 people in the chat, but quite low today. It's, you know, it's good old Easter Sunday. Let's do some blasphemy. Okay. Over here. Oh shit, I forgot to drink my hot chocolate again. What better to do, magic, death and rebirth? Yeah. It's good ancestral magic. It's a good time for initiation. Yeah. Yolandi, I saw a reel where a foreigner in an essay showed a picture of herbs and called it muti. Don't we call most stuff muti anyway? If it's like to heal you, it's called muti. Neo, I'm gonna have to go in a few minutes, but I'm so glad I finally caught a stream again. It was lovely to chat with you all, and I wish you a wonderful rest of your day. It's an absolute pleasure. Glad you joined us again. Thanks for the stream and sharing your knowledge as always. It's an absolute pleasure. Right, hope you have a great week, and hopefully see you next week. Yolandi, we answered he doesn't want to know what muti looks like. No. It has become a slang word here, though. Anything that's like medicine becomes muti. But yeah. Divs, do you have any advice for when starting a Book of Shadow for the first time? Just let me know what you are thinking of doing in your Book of Shadows. And the reason I ask that is because some people just use it as a record-keeping journal, whereas other people like to make it really pretty and quite artistic, and they will put in spell work and, you know, very kind of formal, rather than a record-keeping thing, which is kind of like what a Book of Shadows actually is. It's your grimoire at the end of the day. It's your grammary. And so you keep your, you know, if you've done a spell and it worked, put that spell in the book. If you have a particular circle casting method that you enjoy, you put that into the grammary or grimoire or Book of Shadows, and you make it really, really nice. And it's something that you can pass on to other people in the future. You know, you might want to pass it on to your children who might become interested in magic. You might take on a student, and you know, you're on your deathbed, and your apprentice kind of goes, "Oh," and you give them your Book of Shadows. You usually give them, you know, they have to copy your Book of Shadows down anyway before that. But I'm just being dramatic. But then, as I said, some people will. It's more of a journal, and I call that a journal. which is a record keeping thing. And in that particular instance, it's going to be record keeping. So, even if you've got a daily practice, you want to keep a record of your daily practice, how it went. And if it was a shit day, you write in shit day, and that's all you write. That's fine, but you've recorded it. And the reason for doing that is that over time you start to see patterns emerge. And hello, John. I'll get to you just now. Thanks for joining. But you start seeing patterns emerge, and then when that happens, you can sort of see, you recorded this, and it was the new moon, and you've had this period where you're just feeling like shit, and then you recognize that the next time you recorded during the new moon, you recorded all this stuff and you also felt like shit. You were low on energy or something like that. And you start to see these patterns, and then you can take those patterns and you can incorporate them into your magic. During your low phases, you want to do particular magic. You might not want to do all this energetic stuff because you just don't have the energy to do it. And this is all about listening to the land, listening to the cycles, the annual cycles, the cycles of the day and the month and the moon, and yourself, your own circadian rhythm and your own cycles that happen within yourself, and how all those things flow, and how you start seeing the patterns throughout a year of from spring into summer into autumn into winter, and how you actually react to the environment and how your energy flows and all that. So you start seeing all these patterns. That's what journal keeping and record keeping is all about. And recording your spells. You do a spell working, you did it on this particular day at this particular time, and if it didn't work, you can then go back and check, maybe there was some planetary alignment that wasn't favorable. Maybe you did it during a void of course moon, which meant that the energy was low, or there was nothing happening. Maybe you did it during eclipse and the lights were off. But you can, if you've recorded the date and time, just put as much information as you can in, then you can go back and you can start checking, if there was something else which was influencing at the time which caused your magic not to work, and if it was, then you can try it again at a different time which is more favorable, or you can adjust the magic completely because the method just didn't work. So record keeping, it's about experimentation. That's what magic is all about: experimentation and record keeping, and testing, experimenting. So that's a lot of answer for that little question. But I hope it helped. If it is Book of Shadows and you want it to be a really nice artistic thing, you might want to consecrate it, because it's going to become a magical item. You might want to consecrate just a normal journal as well, because it's used as part of your magical journey and therefore becomes a magical item. So yeah. Alright, Jono. I just saw Satan is #1 trending on Twitter, and I remembered the stream. Oh, thanks. So now Jono associates me with Satan. Landy, probably just because it's Easter weekend. Oh, we're starting to get into the nasties now. Landy, I want to make a Book of Shadows, but make my own paper and make it really special. I know somebody who's actually making their own. They've got to do. They learn book binding and they've got all the equipment and stuff, so they're making binding the whole thing. It's going to be fantastic. I'd love to do that. I've always loved book binding, but I've never been able to get the equipment and get into it. John Landy probably. And then those American evangelicals get stuff like that trending all the time, bunch of wackos. I like it here better. Normal weird people. Absolutely, yes. Kenneth, split variable testing, also known as A/B testing, is what Leah's describing with journaling. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Try something. If it doesn't work, try something else. Or try at a different time or something like that. I call them Americans. The ones who can think for themselves, I call Americans. Yeah, and those are all the people here, because they're all good people here. Tibbs, thank you for such a great answer. Yes, a pleasure. Hope it answered it. That's the main thing. But yeah. Right. Okay, that brings us to the end of that round. Let's see if the chat's... now Jono's here. Maybe we'll get some more people in, because he brought the crowd with him. Don't know. Yeah, my YouTube, my screen here is still showing me holding up the book, showing you the book, which was fucking an hour ago, I think. YouTube's weird, it really is. Let's see, what I haven't told everybody. Oh, Miss Andrea, Alistair, and Richard. I actually got a message from Richard, hold on. I don't know where Andrea and Alistair are today. Oh, going to have to miss the live. Oh, okay. Alright, that's personal, I'm not going to read that. Kenneth, can you talk about your healing energy consultation? Saw it on the website. So, there's distance healing, obviously, unless you want to fly here, and I'll get you on my massage bed and give you a proper hands-on healing. But yeah, distance healing, energy healing. I am a 3rd degree Usui Reiki master. Oops, sorry, I think everything's wobbling again. And I incorporate a lot of different methods, which I've kind of personally developed over the years. So the way I like to work, I know a lot of people who do distance energy healing, they kind of do it face to face on Zoom calls and things like that. I actually prefer to do it when the person's sleeping, early morning, their kind of early morning. And the reason for that is that I incorporate a Kabbalistic method that I was taught, which is called identification, where I actually call the person's nefesh, their lower self, their lower soul, to me, and actually go into their nefesh. And it's a bit like healing them from the inside. So I go into them, and then I heal, use energy healing through me, which then expands into their own lower self, their nefesh. And then I send their nefesh back to them. So it's a method that I was taught. It's not an easy method. It's, it's quite advanced. You don't want to do this if you are just starting out, because you can really do a lot of damage, to be honest. But that's best done early morning, when the person's been through core sleep and it's kind of like, on the teetering on the edge of hypnopompic sleep. Then so I actually go into my astral temple, call them, do the healing, send them back, and that's what I do. That's my personal method. So obviously I can't do a Zoom call, because I am just sitting silently. If you had to watch me on a Zoom call, you wouldn't. I'd just be sitting still for like 20 minutes, which would be a bit boring. Plus the other person should be asleep at the time, so no Zoom calls in progress. That's the way I do it anyway. But I incorporate Reiki into that as well. I just kind of open up the channel and just let the Reiki energy come in. If it's something along the lines of removal of parasitic entities or power intrusions or things like that, then I'll do something which slightly different. It kind of varies depending on the situation. I might suck the energy out. I might blast away parasitic entities, all of that stuff. But yeah, that's the basics. John Uncle, I don't associate this community with Satanism, even if I did. I love listening to Satanists talk. They're the best people I've ever heard speak. It's more about unconventional spirituality. I have to agree with you, actually. I mean, I'm sure I've told this story over and over and over again. I'll tell it again, though. The reason this was years ago. This must have been it was about 25 years ago, because it was just before I met Kai. Um, and I was kind of going down the Wicca, the neo Wicca path and everything else. And I was in these communities, and everybody's like, and this included chaos magic as one into the left-hand path at that stage. And everybody's like, the left-hand path people are evil, and they only do malevolent magic and all of this stuff. They're carrying on and on and on. And I was thinking to myself one day, okay, so was a Christian, now I'm a witch, and Christians come along and have this idea that witches are evil. But I know better now. I've experienced this, and I know witches are not evil. So maybe all of these people in these communities have the wrong idea of Satanism and the left-hand path. So I very nervously got onto the Yahoo group back in the day of the First Church of Satan with John Ali and his wife Lily Ali. And when he was in the Church of Satan with LaVey, his name was Lord Egan. If you want to go look that up, he's a very interesting guy, really, really interesting guy. Both of them as a couple were very interesting because she labelled herself as a right-hand path witch, and he labelled himself as a left-hand path Satanist. But they created this community which was amazing. It was incredible. And they were, intelligent people. And, all this talk of sacrificing virgins and children and animals and all of this stuff, just learned it was a load of bullshit. Yes, there are sects out there, and there are people who have this idea that Satanism is this whole Hollywood thing, and they're just misinformed and just led astray. And then you do have the organisations like the O9A that are evil. They do actually they do cullings, and they sacrifice people, and they are neo-Nazis and all of that stuff. So yes, you do get them, but you get the good and the bad in all of the various different cultures and everything else, traditions and paths and whatnot. So you just got to beware of who you're talking to and what information you're getting at the end of the day. Check it against other people. Find someone you trust. Ask them. Anyway, carrying on. Lucy. Hello, Lucy. I like the name Lucy Alice Knox. That's really cool. Do you use Witch's Alphabet in any of your workings? I don't actually, to be honest. And I was thinking the other day, I don't know why I don't use Witch's Alphabet. Apart from writing in my journal, I don't tend to write a lot. I do use sigils. But I don't. I used to, like a long time ago, but not anymore. Just don't seem to do anything which has a use for it, to be honest with you. And I keep thinking to myself, I'd really want to start using the Theban script in my workings and stuff, and then I'm like, but everything's just energy. I work with the energy model, and most of the stuff I do is just movement and flow of energy. So don't really have a use for it, but they're fascinating. I love the Witch's Alphabet, Theban scripts and all that. Yolandi Jono started following some people that follow the old Viking gods. They are very interesting. You have to be careful with that word Viking though, because Viking is again a title. We always come back to titles, don't we? Viking just meant trader, seafarer and trader. That's what a Viking was. It's the old Norse gods. Icelandics, Scandinavian, really, in that respect. Kenneth, Jono, as someone who was a hardcore Levian Satanist, the Covenstead is nothing like it. Yeah, well, Jono knows, don't worry. It's really cool. When you break away from the religion of your parents, you start understanding how vast and beautiful spirituality can be. That's cool, Kenneth. I'm sure you're right. I'm just talking about spirituality. There isn't born again evangelical Christianity. Kenneth, you mind me asking why you left? Oh, Levian Satanism. It's a load of rubbish. Um, sorry, that was mean. Yolanda, I don't know how else to state it. Oh, okay. Now I'll just say the old Nordic gods. I'd say. Personally, I would. That's how I would put it. The problem is you start using the term Viking gods and you start upsetting some people. Yeah. Kenneth, yeah, a little bit of rubbish. Take what you can use and discard the rest. Transcend. Yeah, absolutely. It's I mean it's got value for some people. And this is the thing. Every path has value for somebody. Even the fluffy bunny new age people. They are happy, and if somebody's happy, that's it. That's their path, and shouldn't be taken away from them at all. Whoever it is, whatever it is. But at some point, maybe they want to move beyond it, and that's when worldview changes again. Kenneth, order placed online. Oh, okay, cool. I just did forget to tell you there is I'll meet you on Jitsi. There's just like a 20-30 minute consultation where I need to find out why you need the healing, what you need it for, and all that stuff. So we'll do that, have a chat, and then I'll do my thing. Ooh, I know where you are at the moment. That's going to be an interesting time difference. We have to do it late at night. Yeah. Oh, is it this coming week? Bloody hell, time's gone by quickly. Yeah, 1-on-1 24. Are we due? Maybe I didn't put it down because you're in the other country. Sorry, I don't want to give too much information. Kenneth. Let me actually go to the month view. Hold on. You are the 4th week of the month. 4th Monday. Oh shit. Oh no, wait. No, it's next week. Put you down on the 28th. Yeah, the fourth week of the month. Sorry, did I confuse that or did you confuse that? Just let me know. But we can meet tomorrow as well for the healing anyway, and then again the weekend after. Okay. No, it's fine. The calendar's getting a bit confused every now and again. But yeah, I'll give you a shout. I'll give you a shout tomorrow anyway. Tomorrow morning. We can sort out a time. Jono, here's one. There are a bunch of poor young kids in the Free State calling themselves Satanists. Oh, there have been. There was years back. There was a group in Rudaport. It infuriates me. Killing chickens doesn't make you a Satanist. Do it properly. We've had them over and over and over and again. As I said, when I started with, or on chatting with the people in the First Church of Satan, I've discovered a lot of what was going on in South Africa, and there was one of those cultic or cultish satanic groups in Rudaport at the time. And they were going around and putting graffiti on walls and trying to edgy. It's the edgy thing, it really is. That's all it boils down to, is the edgy thing. But yeah. Alright, just to reiterate, Kenneth, I will contact you tomorrow. We'll sort out times and stuff. But yeah. Yolandi, to everyone here, I apologise for not stating Norse gods, but English being my second language, it is sometimes difficult to translate from. No, it's not. You don't need to apologise. A lot of people refer to the Vikings and the Viking gods and all of this stuff. It's just the problem I've seen in communities is that a lot of people, new people specifically, get into these Nordic communities and heathen communities and start talking about the Viking gods and the Vikings this and the Vikings that, and they start like saying skull and all of this stuff, and they're using it completely out of context and not understanding why. And then some people are gentle about the thing and correct them and say you should be doing this, and other people just coming with axes flaying, saying get the fuck out, you idiot. Which it's a bit unfair to the people who are new and don't know. So it's just about learning new things. Yeah, Johnny said I'm sure no one minds. No, nobody minds here. This is why we have this community, to learn, to expand, to improve, all of that stuff. Having said that, we do have all the Viking music. Have to do that. Right, it is quiet today. I think, as I said, it's Easter weekend. I think everybody's with family and stuff like that. So it is 9:15. Maybe we should call it a stream. Can't really call it a day because it's evening here. Unless anybody's got a quick question they want to ask. I still haven't drunk hot chocolate. It's cold. It's okay. It's good hot chocolate though. Don't I get the impression heathens take the meaning of those words seriously? I remember Kai saying that calling uncle means a lot more. Yeah, it's there are specific traditions and understandings within heathenry that, especially when it comes to, because heathenry is very much a community-based tradition, and there's a lot of things about adoption. So you don't call somebody uncle unless they are your uncle through whatever means. So yeah, it's just one of those heathenry things. Yeah, have a great week to you too, Jono. Kenneth said hit that like button on the way out. I agree, please hit it. And thanks everybody. It's great chatting again today. And hopefully I'll see everybody and more next week for the same. Okay. Have a good one.